At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Griner to lead us in the invocation and the pledge. Would you please stand, please?
Dear Lord, just thank you for another wonderful day. Lord, just thank you for your patience and your goodness. Lord, just thank you for all the many wonderful things you do for us each and every day, Lord. And Lord, just give us your wisdom tonight as we make decisions for the citizens and people that live in Lowndes County, Lord. Just help us to help those decisions that we make tonight be pleasing to your sight, Lord. And we love you very much, and just help us to make an influence for you each and every day, people we meet, come in contact with, Lord, and just lead us and guide us each day. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we actually get started with our meeting, we've got a very special presentation we'd like to make tonight. We've got Mr. Ernie Andrus, 92-year-old. He's making his super senior coast-to-coast run, and it's come through Valdosta and Lowndes County today. And, sir, congratulations. You're very, very close. So we're very, very proud of you. We're proud of your mission and what you're trying to accomplish as you come through these communities, and it has been quite a heroic effort. But at this time, I'd like to ask the commissioners if they would to please come down. I've got a proclamation I'd like to present to Mr. Andrus. Commissioners, inside your package, you'll find your minutes from your work session of June the 13th and your regular session minutes from June the 14th. If you would, or if you have reviewed those minutes, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 5A is under our appointments. It's the Valdosta Lowndes County Land Bank Authority. Mr. Pritchard.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, we have recommended Mr. Jason Dove to be appointed to this position.
Okay, we have a recommendation for Jason Dove. Are there any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, we can declare Mr. Jason Dove appointed by acclamation. And we'll send him a letter congratulating him on that appointment. Agenda item 5B is the Valdosta Lowndes County Parks and Recreation Authority. Mr. Pritchard.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, as we discussed yesterday, you have two vacancies to discuss. One is that of Mr. Ashley Paulk, whose term ends this month. The other, Mr. Michael McDowell, is also a three-year term. Mr. McDowell should have been appointed last year. We had picked his term up as a four-year appointment instead of three. It has been recommended that you formally reappoint Mr. McDowell, and he would serve the remaining 2 years of the three-year term.
Okay, so we have those nominations. Are there any other nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Mr., did you say Ashley's not running again? Did not
Yes.
want to seek?
You can reappoint Mr. Paul.
Can reappoint him.
Okay. I didn't know he was seeking reappointment, actually.
In other
Yes,
words,
yes.
all the three appointments.
Yes.
Oh, both, okay.
Both of you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Mr. Hiram Johnson.
Okay. For which term?
For one of the terms, just
3 years.
Yeah, they would, for one of the,
one of the.
we have one term, we're actually appointing one, and then that's going to continue to serve in a full term, is that correct?
It would be the remainder of the 2 years left on a three-year term.
Right.
Ashley's is a three-year term, and McDowell was a two-year term.
For the 2-year term, then?
For the 2-year term,
Yes.
okay, then we will take, in the order that we have, are there any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the nominations. I'd like to ask for the vote on Mr. Ashley Paulk for a full term.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve Mr. Paulk for a full term. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? Motion carries. Okay, we now will call for the term to be to fill 2 terms of 2 years of a 3-year term, and that will be for Mr. Michael McDowell. Do we have a motion for Mr. McDowell?
Motion to approve McDowell.
We have a motion to approve Mr. McDowell. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote for Mr. Michael McDowell. Please raise your hands. Okay, we have 2. Okay, we have now the votes, or we'll call for the votes for Mr. Hiram Johnson. Have 1. Okay. So it's 2-1. So Mr. Michael McDowell is reappointed for the remaining term. Okay, we also will get those individuals the letters out congratulating them on their appointments. Okay, we'll now move to agenda item 6A. This is a public hearing item. This is the abandonment of the portion of Beaver Lane. Mr. McLeod?
Yes, sir. On May 24th, 2016, the Lowndes County Board of Commissioners determined that a portion of Beaver Lane has ceased to be used by the public to the extent that no substantial public purpose is served by it, or that its removal from the county road system is otherwise in the best public interest. As required by Georgia statute, each adjoining property owner was notified by certified mail of the intent and public hearing. The public hearing was also advertised in the Valdosta Daily Times.
Okay, thanks, sir. Do we have any questions for Mr. McLeod?
Are we through with the process? Are we
Yes.
ready, are we ready to make the?
We're ready, we're going to be making a decision after the public hearing portion. Okay, we'll now turn it over into the public participation portion. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition to this request? Anyone that would like to speak in opposition to this request? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in favor of this request? Anyone that would like to speak in favor? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the public participation portion of it and turn it back over to the commissioners for your consideration.
I'll motion that we abandon that portion of Beaver Lane.
We have a motion to abandon that portion of Beaver Lane. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7A is the Worthington Triangle right-of-way determination. Mr. McLeod.
Yes, sir. Worthington Triangle is a county road located near Twin Lakes. As a result of usage over time, the previously unpaved and now paved road is not aligned with the platted right-of-way. As a result, the section of the platted right-of-way depicted as Track 3 on the enclosed preliminary plat is not needed for county road purposes. For this reason, this section of right-of-way has ceased to be used by the public to the extent that no substantial public purpose is served by it, and in addition, its removal from the county road system is otherwise in the best interest of the public.
Any questions for Mr. McLeod? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion, Mr. Chairman, that in accordance with OCGA 32-7-2, the section of platted right-of-way depicted as Track 3 on the attached preliminary plat of Worthington Triangle has ceased to be used by the public to the extent that no substantial public purpose is served by it, and its removal from the county road system is otherwise in the best interest of the public.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like signs. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7B is the 2016 Greater Lowndes Comprehensive Plan. This is the draft submittal. Mr. Davenport.
Yes, sir, thank you. What we're asking from the commission tonight is a recommendation of approval so that we can send the current draft of the plan up to the state and to the regional commission for an official review. During that time, we will be welcoming any comments you might have in addition to the draft. But at this point in the timeline, it's time for us to send the draft that we have up to the state for their official comments. So with that, we knew that there were going to be changes from the draft that we printed for you last week in order to get you a head start on it and give it into your commission notebooks. With that, I passed out a piece of paper tonight that highlighted basically 10 groups of changes, just so you knew exactly what was in the draft that we planned on being sent. From this point, each of the cities will also have to proceed with a letter and a draft so that they can proceed forward with their comprehensive plan to DCA. We are just the first ones that have made that cut. So with that, we do expect some other comments. I'll try to entertain any questions you might have. The only thing we'd ask that is kind of special on the agenda is we'd ask that there be a public hearing associated with this request because we advertised it as such, and we'd like to be able to say that we held that.
Any questions for Mr. Davenport?
Yes, just one. Jason, in regard to public transportation, did we receive much feedback on it or anything that would be worthy of injecting to this draft?
Based on the comments that we have literally going on downstairs right now, and the conversations that are happening associated with the fixed routes that the Department of Human Services is conducting, as well as our own changes in our rural transit system, I do think that transit will probably have some additional comments that will change based on moving forward. So I think we have some comments in there now about transit, but I think based on all the comments and conversations that are happening literally today, I think that there will probably be changes to that section.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Oh, we're gonna have a public hearing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right, then we'll move into the public hearing portion of it. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in opposition? Anyone that would like to speak in opposition? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in favor? Please come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name's Gretchen Quarterman. I live at 6565 Quarterman Road. My mailing address is 3338 Country Club Road, number L336. I just wanted to say that I attended many of the sessions that were in the development of this, and I wanted to compliment Ariel and Jason and Matt on the really great job they did in terms of soliciting people to come and really incorporating their comments and working on it. I think they did a really good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor? Hearing none, we'll now close the public participation portion over and turn it over to the commissioner for your consideration.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7C is the adoption of the fiscal year 2017 budget. Ms. Black?
Yes, sir. Following your public hearing on June the 14th, we're submitting the budget for your adoption tonight. This will become effective Friday, July 1st. As noted yesterday, the only changes from what was presented on the 14th have to do with the hotel motel and the changes from 5 to 7%, which is your next agenda item.
Any questions for Ms. Black? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve for the adoption of the fiscal year 2017 budget.
Do we have a motion to approve the adoption of the fiscal year 2017 budget? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7D, the hotel motel tax rate increase. Ms. Black.
Yes, sir. Again, in 2015, the General Assembly passed the local act that authorizes the Board of Commissioners to increase the hotel motel levy from 5 to 7%. What you have attached are the ordinance that increases that levy to 7%, the required county budget plan with the attached Conference Center and Tourism Authority budget plan, and the two contracts with the authority on how those funds are to be used. And these are all included in the budget that you just adopted. This will become effective August 1st.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Black?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to point out that the authority voted this morning to approve these documents.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the ordinance, budget plan, contracts with Conference Center and Tourism Authority.
We have a motion to approve the ordinance. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7E is a beer and wine license for the Little River Grocery at 8235 Highway 122 in Hayhire. Ms. Black?
Yes, sir. This request is for Hamza Urshad of Warwick, 786 number 3, which is the Little River Grocery. This is for the sale of beer and wine for consumption off-premise and is due to a change of ownership.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Black? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the beer and wine license.
We have a motion to approve the beer and wine license. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like signs. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7F is the architectural services for the renovations to the Lowndes County Animal Shelter. Mr. McLeod.
Yes, sir. Renovations to the Lowndes County Animal Shelter project was approved on the SPLOST 7 referendum at $800,000. Staff received a proposal from McCall and Associates Incorporated, DBA McCall Architecture, for architectural services for the project. McCall and Associates proposed 8% for the design and construction administration.
Any questions for Mr. McLeod? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve McCall and Associates, Inc., doing business as McCall Architectural Contracting, and authorize the chairman to sign the contract.
We have a motion to approve McCall and Associates, DBA McCall Architecture Contract, and authorize the chairman to sign the contract. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Agenda item 7G is your Motorola subscriber maintenance agreement. Mr. Weeks?
Yes, sir, thank you. This is an annual contract, just asking your permission to approve it for one more year, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Weeks? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the Motorola contract.
We have a motion to approve the Motorola contract. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none,
May
we'll
I
call.
ask a question?
Sure.
It mentions here that there's a discount. Do we pay the full price or we take a discount?
Yes, sir, we're going to pay the full price, and we'll get about 5% discount by paying that.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a motion. We have a second. We'll now call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7H is the service contract for the Logistics CAD system. Mr. Weeks?
Yes, sir, thank you. This is an annual contract. This gives us 24-hour support on our computer-aided dispatch system, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Do we get 5% on this too?
Any discounts?
Any other questions for Mr. Weeks? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the Logistics CAD system service contract.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the Logistics CAD contract. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7I is the service contract for the Liebert UPS at the 911 Center and 4 tower sites. Mr. Weeks?
Yes, sir, thank you. This is for the uninterruptible power supply. We have one at the 911 center and also one at all 4 of our tower sites for the public safety radio system. This keeps everything going in the event we do have a power failure until our emergency generators can come online and keep us going. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Weeks? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve both contract renewals.
We have a motion to approve both contract renewals. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7J is the service contract for the mobile data terminals. Mr. Weeks?
Thank you. Again, this is the annual contract. This supports the message switch that supports all of the mobile data computers that are in the patrol cars that allow the officers to have GCIC access into the criminal justice network, as well as access to our calls for service at the 911 center. Be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Weeks? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a motion to approve? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Weeks.
Thank you.
Agenda item 7K is the LAS Pump Control Panel. Mr. Stalvey?
Yes, sir. Our control panel at the LAS went down last Wednesday. This panel, these pumps transfers the water from the storage ponds to the spray field. This necessitated an emergency repair. We got a price from Coward Electric for $18,500 to remove and replace the damaged equipment. Staff recommends approving the repair for $18,500.
Any questions for Mr. Stalvey? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the control panel repair/replacement.
Do we have a motion to approve the control panel repair/replacement? We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 7L is the trust deed for the Brookwood Place subdivision. Mr. Pritchard.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, at a previous meeting, you tabled discussion concerning the acceptance of a trust deed for Brookwood Place subdivision. This request was made by James Warren and Associates. The purpose of your tabling of this was to give staff time to seek other alternatives as options to the acceptance of the trust deed. Staff is prepared to recommend to you that you now accept that trust deed. Steve, you concur with that?
Yes, sir. After reviewing those options, staff feels the best is to accept this trust deed and authorize the chairman to sign.
Any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the trust deed and authorize the chairman to sign.
Can we have a motion to accept the trust deed and authorize the chairman to sign?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Agenda item 8 is the county manager's report. Mr. Pritchard.
No additional report, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, sir. Agenda item 9, citizens wishing to be heard. We don't have any. Okay, is there any other business? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.